Hi everyone and welcome to Travel Massive Live. My name is Maria, I'm part of the Travel Massive team. I'm joining you today from Sofia, Bulgaria, where it's 6 p.m., quite dark already, and we're ready to kick off this webinar and then go and have a drink or something. Okay, so just to remind you, we have a very exciting webinar today. We are doing startup pitches. This is the second edition, and we do have 3 amazing startups that we are very excited to show you today. We do have Francesco from GigsGuide. He's joining us from Malmö in Sweden. We have Navid from WandaMaps. She's joining us from Boulder. And we have Rama and Vivek, who are founders of SkyHi. Just very quick explanation of the rules. Each startup will have 6 minutes to pitch their product or service and to show us how it works. There was a little bit more about the challenges, if they're looking for something, or how are they building the world that they want to see today. Also, we do have a guest judge, Kevin, who is joining us from Dublin. Kevin is leader of Travel Massive Dublin. He's also co-founder of CityHook. Okay, to the live audience, if you have any questions, we encourage you to use the chat box on your right. Just post your questions or your feedback for every startup, and then we'll get back to the questions at the end of the webinar. Okay, are we ready to start? Francesco, to you. You have 6 minutes to show us how GigsGuide work.
All right, so you're asking the Italian to do it in 6 minutes. Well, I'll do my best. Let's see if I can start with sharing the screen correctly first. So one. All right, let's see, where is it? I keep losing. There you go. So you see it? Yeah, very good. Now let me start. And I started the clock as well. Yes, so I'm Francesco. I'm the founder of GigsGuide. It's a little startup we like to refer to as the love child of Spotify and Skyscanner. And as I said, because I normally don't make it in 6 minutes, let me just start one thing. Some of you might have seen the website. The website is not the product. It's just what we do with the product. What we really are about is turning live event listings into data that you can use in various ways. And one of these ways is actually selling travel. One very important point that we like to stress is also our motivation for this. We are music geeks, or other than travel geeks. We think live music is one of the best things in life, and we want to share this passion with more people, help people find music they love wherever they go. But we also see these as a way to bring new people to venues and help them discover artists, which makes more money for artists, both emerging and established. But also we see this as a way to help people discover new parts of the cities they travel to, bring money into the local economy in a different way. There's a lot of talk about doing things like the locals. Well, one thing the locals do is going to gigs. And so we think there is a bigger picture here and a bigger value that we bring by making live events easier for people to find. So with that said, let's get started. The nice thing about pitching to Travel Massive is that I don't have to explain to you guys why experiences are the big thing in travel today, right? People long for unique experiences. And the reality is that many people already travel for live events. And this is one of those things that really gets people moving. Couple of examples. The Berlin Club Commission released a report last year highlighting how about 3 million people travel to Berlin every year just to go clubbing. They put 1.5 billion euros in the local economy every year. Same figures for London, about 2.8 million people going to London to see live music. So it's one of those things that really makes people move. One of the challenges, if you've tried to look for gigs, particularly when you're not at home, is that it's a pain to find them. The information is spread out in different websites, it's often incomplete. So it takes a lot of time to find it. Very often, the ones who have been better at optimizing for SEO are the scammers, like Viagogo. So you end up on the wrong site. You might end up paying a lot of money for tickets. So it's a very complicated situation, which obviously hinders people from really fully enjoying live events, both at home, but also particularly when they travel. How do we fix this? Oh, sorry. I think I have the wrong deck open. Sorry, just a second. Great. My apologies for this. So I had a bigger deck open with more slides. Sorry about that. So the way we approach this is what we built is basically a system that is able to process a lot of live events information from different sources in an automated way, which means that with very little effort, we have over 100,000 live music events in a database covering many countries across Europe, North America, some Australia, New Zealand. Most importantly, we work with trusted sources. So we work with a lot of ticketing companies, directly with venues. And then what we do is with the data we receive it, we verify it, we add other information, we format it so that we take away all the complexity in dealing with live events and we make it available via API. But obviously, one of the things we do is use it ourselves in our own website. So the funny thing is that it might look simple, but it's not. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and we built a pretty nice pipeline that identifies the venues, add geotags, but also we're able to identify the performer information, which is not always easy and obvious. And then we add bios, we add social media links and pictures, we classify the event, we check whether there are tickets available, how much they are, so that basically everything that you need to use this information, for instance, to sell travel is already there and across different countries and across different genres. So that you can really target people for what they like and not just push them top events because that's what you have. As I said, some of you might have seen our website. The website is a way we showcase how the technology we built can help using live events to sell travel, right? So one of the things you can do on the website is you can put your next trip and then we'll show you the live events taking place where you're going, together with flight information. We just integrated the Skyscanner API and accommodation. You can also check where your favorite bands are playing and compare dates, compare flights. So what used to take 25 open tabs, now it's 3 clicks away. You can save all your trips. So for instance, if you travel for business, we're gonna save you from the boredom of sitting alone at the hotel bar and help you instead maybe discover great music that you didn't know and find new bands in the destination where you're going. So the data we collect, this is what it looks like, for instance. So if you're going to see Snoop Dogg in London, as you see, we have the bio. So if you're recommending an artist you've never heard of that happens to be in the city you're visiting, then we'll give you all the information you need to make a decision and say, yes, this sounds like an artist that is compatible with my profile. Sorry, I'll recover the minutes I left. And as you said, so I'm personally going to see Supergrass in Brussels in a couple of weeks. And as you can see, there's all the information about the event, the flights, the accommodation, make it super easy to travel for music. One thing we're very excited about, though, is another way we're using this data is by working with a couple of tourist boards, helping them promote themselves as music destinations with the actual music that is taking place there, right? So targeting people and say, hey, come to this city to see this band. And the idea is that the money we make out of selling travel ends up in part also going back into the local community. So it becomes a good way to support the local music scene. And we're hoping to get the first couple of pilots live within the next couple of months. But obviously live music and travel is the one thing we begin with. We actually have in the database a lot of other type of events, theater and opera. And obviously we understand that this is data that can be used in many other situations, including obviously within the live music industry. So this is bigger than live music and travel. And hopefully, I hope it ends up for us better than it did for this guy. The team right now is just me and my friend Mikhail. So to show also like how you can build something that does all the work for us so that the system runs and you can do this with just 2 people on the team. And obviously we're looking for a bit of help. If you love music, then we think this is the best tool to book, to find trips and to book them. So we love you to share it with your your friends and your loved ones. Help us reach more venues, more artists, more tourist boards. And obviously, yes, we are looking for investors. So if you do have a rich uncle or rich aunt, then that love music and are passionate about doing something positive also for the local music scenes of our cities, then please tell them to get in touch with me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Francesco. You did very well. I remind everyone who is watching us live, please post your questions for GigsGuide and Francesco on the chat box, and we'll get back to them at the end of the webinar. Navid, it's your turn. Show us how WandaMaps work and how we can get involved. Can you please turn on your microphone?
Okay, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
We're better. Okay, cool. So let's see if I can match Francesco's energy because we're just waking up here, but that was great. And I want to talk to you about sharing experiences. So as Francesco just hit on, that is really the most important thing right now within travel, and that is really the focus of what we do. So just for a moment, I want you to imagine that somebody's coming to visit you in the city where you live or the area that you live in, and you don't have the time to take them out and show them around personally yourself. So how do you share all of your favorite things that you like to do in your area? Do you send them a long email or maybe a long WhatsApp message? If you're really ambitious, you might go on Google Maps and use Google My Places and drop a bunch of pins and send them that map. If you have ever gone through that process, you know it's not very fun. And if you've ever tried to use one of those maps, it's pretty limited. So in a nutshell, that is what we do. We're an online community for people to build personalized maps to share local recommendations. So instead of going through our deck, I just want to give you a live demo of what this looks like on our platform. So this is after we have logged in. This is my account, and these are maps that I've already created. So you can see this is a summary of places in the world that struggle with over-tourism, or for instance, this is a road trip that I am planning to go from one distillery to another within the United States. I was going to build a live map for you guys, but the video I was going to use didn't quite work with Zoom. So the way that you add them is you just search by the destination. So if we just want to go to Portland, then we can do that, and then you annotate each place as you go along. The really important part here is that you can find resources wherever you are online or offline. So when you want to get trip inspiration, you can get it from Instagram, you can get it from Facebook, you can get it from blog posts. But where do you go to curate and centralize all that information? That is what we're trying to do right here on WandaMaps. So if I'm excited about going to Portland, what am I going to say? Okay, there's the Hood River Distillery. There's all these other things that I want to do there, and then I just add the information as is pertinent to me. And I'm going to skip all of that because I can't type and speak at the same time. But this gives you a personalized itinerary that you can then use to navigate and that you can share with other people. So if we want to share this itinerary, we can then do it on social media, just using a link, or we can also embed it anywhere using HTML. And then the way that that looks is you've got your blog post, right? You just stick it in. This is a WordPress site, and you have your personalized map right over here. And it really, what it does with this is that blog posts right now are really high quality forms of content with great photos and well-written text. But the problem is that when you use it as a resource, you still have to reference a map, right? So if I'm looking at this blog post about distilleries in the United States and I want to use it, I still have to write down that information someplace else. A WandaMap gives you an option to put all of that into the format people need to actually travel. So I have a little bit more time. So one more thing I want to go over with you guys today, because this is specific to the Travel Massive community, is that we have recently started offering a white label version of our software for destination managers. So if you are a DMO and you want to help people organize the content that they find on your website with a trip planner, this is something that we are offering at a highly discounted price to building this from scratch. So this is one example of it. We have the same basic format of what you see with the WandaMaps planner, but you curate the places. The visitors to your site can book directly, they can add you know, a list of favorites. And then when they do that, they get their own personalized itinerary. So this is a list of all the places that they have favorited. And not only is it there, but they can actually edit it. So once again, they can go in, they can modify the notes, they can modify the tags. And those tags are really helpful to let them search. They can share their map with other people. So if you're planning this trip with, let's say, your partner or some friends, they can come and you can plan together directly on this map together. And you can calculate the route that you want to take, download that as a PDF file, or you can then actually navigate using the WandaMaps app. So the real goal here is that you're not jumping back and forth between different platforms. So Francesco mentioned this in terms of GigsGuide, right? You want to centralize things when it comes to music. WandaMaps is a versatile platform. We're not specific to music, but it's letting you centralize whatever that information is that's specific to you. Maybe you want to go scuba diving. Maybe like me, you really like beer and whiskey. Whatever your interest might be, it lets you centralize all that information in maps that you can actually use. Where we're at right now, we are, as I mentioned, we're offering this white label solution to tourism marketers and DMOs. And we're working with universities to build guides for students who are on Erasmus or studying abroad. So if you know DMOs or universities who might be interested in that, we're definitely happy to hear from them. Here's my contact information. And then anybody who is a travel blogger, you know, I went over briefly the map embed option. So we're really testing the functionalities now and seeing what is the most useful to people. So we just love to hear from anyone who wants to give it a try. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Navid. Sounds great. If you have any questions for Navid, please post them on the chat box. I think, Francesco, you already have one question, but we'll get to it a bit later, so you can think about it. And then now we have Rama and Vivek who are going to show us SkyHi.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks for joining this morning. I'm Rama Pula, CEO of SkyHi.
I'm Vivek Pula, CTO of SkyHi.
And we built the first subscription service for commercial airlines. And we're currently at a 600K run rate. And here's how we got there. 18% of airline seats will go unsold this year. It's worth nearly $200 billion. Consumer behavior is driving more last-minute bookings than ever before, making it more difficult for airlines to forecast demand and fill seats. Airlines try to make up for this by charging you even more for last-minute tickets. A flight from San Francisco to New York this week can cost $300 to $800. With SkyHi, a subscription, with Sky's subscription, it's $120 every time. We forever simplified the flight booking experience. Choose from any of our destinations, choose any flight available, confirm, and get a ticket in a minute. It's that simple. But it's not just about getting plane tickets. We immerse you in a world of discovery so you can find places that inspire you. We get to know you and your interests to provide the best recommendations. If your friends are going somewhere exciting, hop on board with just one tap. Then tell all your friends to come with you. So there's just no more FOMO. SkyHi is the first subscription service to reliably book last-minute seats on commercial airlines. In a world where there are on-demand cars, there's on-demand entertainment, and there's on-demand lodging, we realized there were no on-demand flight services. So we built that. We're a team of technical experts, airline industry experts, and experts in consumer businesses. And we've built products that are used by millions. So we came together to build SkyHi. And we've grown it to 600K ARR in just 12 months. Our members are raving about us because prices never fluctuate. They don't waste time on booking sites, and booking is just one tap. Everyone else is still selling tickets based on fluctuating prices that can change hourly. And if you book last minute, you're even more screwed. We've eliminated that. With us, prices never fluctuate, whether you book later today or 30 days out. A SkyHi membership costs just $199 a month, and all flights are $35, $75, or $120 depending on distance. Since we act just like other distributors, our inventory consists of most major airlines, and you can still claim your mileage and get your upgrades. We already have over 5,000 routes across North America and Europe, and are on track to double that by next year. All of that makes SkyHi faster, more affordable, more predictable, and a better experience than anything else out there. Our members are already using it to get to their board meetings, to take those weekend trips, to see their clients, and to visit their families. To date, the majority of our customers have come through referrals and partnerships. And as a special gift to the Travel Massive community, you can sign up with code TMFlight and get your first flight up to 1,000 miles for free. Travel trends are in our favor. Young professionals will spend nearly $200 billion on travel. And those travel budgets rose 62% in the last year. But young professionals make up just a small portion of the travel spend each year. With businesses, students, retirees, and other travelers, the annual flight spend in 2020 will be $800 billion. And in a decade, nearly $2 trillion will be spent on air travel. We capitalize on those trends by using data analysis and our evolving algorithms to showcase flights to our members that fit our pricing models. And since our members fly a predictable number of times per month, we can forecast demand and get the best prices, something airlines can't do. And with that, we're seeing 5 times the industry average profit per booking. Airlines have noticed these trends too, and we're already working to secure bigger and better partnerships. We're excited to announce that we recently integrated with Flair Airlines to get direct access to their inventory. We're already the first subscription service for commercial air travel. We're growing organically and will continue to dominate this market. In addition to becoming a member, you can also become an investor. We've opened up an equity crowdfunding campaign. Just go to republic.co/SkyHi to learn more and get involved. So be a part of this journey with us, become an investor, become a member, and fly SkyHi today. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Rama. Okay, we do have some questions in the chat box. Francesco, if you're ready, you can start with them. I would just kindly ask you to read them out loud first so we get them on the recording.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So let's see. Okay, so the first one is Abdul, right?
Yes.
All right, so Abdul, can you tell me how are you selling your event tickets? Through an API or from the venue? So let's start with that one. So right now we don't sell the tickets. We simply aggregate. What we do is we get information, we check who the performers are and so on, and then we give you the link to the official primary source. So a lot of other people that work with events, they do it with secondary market, like for instance, StubHub, Viagogo. So we send you to the main official ticketing source, and then we're talking with some of the bigger venues and club organizations, so on. So eventually we'll be able to integrate the ticket sale, but right now it's the same as any other like Songkick or Bands in Town that you might be using, except that ours is more about when you're not at home. And then in terms of accommodation, what's the difference of price between your offers versus other normal accommodation suppliers like Booking.com? So right now we actually use, for accommodation, we use a widget from a Canadian startup called State22. What they do, they aggregate Airbnbs and Booking.com and all the others and allow us to place it next to the venue. So if you're going to a concert at the O2 in London, we'll show you accommodation near the venue. And eventually we might move on to actually sell our own hotels, but right now it's the same as those guys, and we get commissions. And the next one is for Navid.
All right, so I don't know if we're just going on the list. So for mine, let's see, can you describe the community part of WandaMaps? So yes, absolutely. In terms of us being a community, I went over the very basic social components in that you can share maps, yes. That is kind of the most basic layer. Ultimately, we're social in that you can search maps, the ones that are posted that are public, you can follow maps, and you can follow people. So if you think of what you do on Instagram you find hashtags that you can follow, you find people through those hashtags or through your network, and then you follow them generally based on people sharing content that you resonate with. So WandaMaps is very similar in terms of if somebody else is interested in going hiking and looking at birds, I'm probably going to have something in common with them, even if I don't know them. So I can follow them and their profile or their maps. So when they travel to Sweden, I get to know where they go. So the next time I land in Sweden, I have some ideas of where I can get started at least, and then I can expand on their maps. And then the next question was, can you share some thoughts about market size? Yes, absolutely. Just in terms of the activities and tourist segment within the travel market, that's a $183 billion segment. So that by itself is quite significant. We are also looking at retail, real estate, agriculture, because we're about organizing and curating and sharing geographic information. There's quite a few industries that can extend to, but we are just starting with travel because that is my background and because I think that's the easiest fit. I think the next question is for Francesco.
Yep. So somebody asked me about the Canadian company we use for the widget. I put the link in the comments. They're really nice guys from Montreal. So if you contact them, say hi from me. Matteo is asking me, who are our competitors and what is our differentiation from other meta search services? On the data side, I think obviously I personally used to use Bands in Town, Songkick. There are other apps that tell you who's coming to your city. The challenge is those apps are not very good when you're traveling, and they're not very good to plan a trip. So I think it's a question of how we use the data in a different context. But also a lot of those are based on bands you follow that you know, where reality is what we discover very quickly is that if you're in London, even in London and New York 2 days, your favorite bands are likely to be there. So what we're very good at is using the data to help you find other bands you've never heard of, but that match your profile, and that helps you discover and maybe a new band to become a fan. The idea for us is that we don't want to compete on the travel side. I mean, to be honest with you, we're more of a music tech startup disguised as a travel startup. the value of what we do is in the music data, not in the selling trips. And so we're actually looking also for partners that want to integrate our data inside their own systems. We tried for 2 years and failed to find hotels and airlines that saw the value in being personal with their customers with music. So if you have an idea and you want to integrate us, then by all means, let me know.
Awesome. Rama, do you want to go through the questions you have?
Yeah, we've got a couple in a row here, so I'll just take them through. The first one is, you're selling a ticket from New York to San Francisco for $120 while they are sold for $300 to $800. So yeah, the first year of the business was really going on the regulatory process to be able to search and issue tickets on a customer's behalf. And in that process, we built really great relationships with airlines as well as other travel providers. So for us, we only charge the subscription fee of $199 a month, and $35, $75, or $120, depending on the distance of that flight. Those prices are never different on our platform. The street value of the ticket, yes, may be higher than that. But as a customer, you get them at those prices. The next one is, do you have corporate accounts? How much tickets can one user buy? So with the subscription, it's $199 a month, and you can fly up to 5 times per month. Those are one-way flights. So that's how much you can book on the platform each month. We allow you to hold 2 tickets at a time, so you can essentially make round trips for yourself. And we do not, at the moment, have specific corporate plans. We do have corporations using the service. Each employee just has an individual membership. It is in our roadmap to build corporate memberships in the future. Are your subscriptions paid on a monthly basis or annually, or just annually? It's actually just monthly right now. We wanted sort of the lowest barrier to entry for people to join and try this product. So it's just month to month right now. We will have annual plans in the future.
There is a question from Anna. How did you arrive at the monthly pricing you choose?
Sorry, was that for us?
Yes, that's for.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was, it was honestly a lot of financial modeling, and then working with our advisors in the airline industry. We have, senior advisors that used to run global partnerships at Etihad and United, pricing analysts at they used to be part of United, and various others, as well as just doing a lot of research on what was happening in the airline industry on airline pricing. You can kind of break down many of the routes down to how much it costs per cent per mile. Sort of using all of that data and knowing what's going on in the industry, we got to these price points based on analysis, really financial modeling.
I think we have a few more questions for Navid.
Yeah, so let's see. There's one that says, do you have some numbers, like how many people in percentage are subscribing for other profiles? I'm not totally sure what the second part of that question is about. So maybe if you can clarify. But in terms of numbers for where we're at right now, we've been beta testing with about 450 users the last few months. And we have a couple of tour companies that we've been working with the white label version of our software. So those are our personal numbers. In terms of how people, oh, it's about following people. Okay. As in like the percentage of people that would follow. I'm still not sure I fully understand. If you want to compare it maybe to other platforms like Pinterest or Instagram, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I can answer that question. So maybe if you want to clarify, I'll go on and answer the next one. Let's see, Google Maps is expensive for using. Are you planning to change it? As the first question. So I didn't mention this, but the Google Maps platform, except for the white label version, is completely for free as a social network. What I went over in the first part of my presentation, that's just there for you to use. We are currently using the Google Maps API, so that's just something that we've covered as our cost, because yes, I know it is very expensive. It's also unpredictable. They changed their prices by about 300% last summer. So yes, we are planning on getting off of the Google Maps API as soon as we can, so that we don't have to eat those costs. And in terms of where we're at, we will keep the all those basic functionalities that I went over. All of that is completely for free because we are a social network. And then in terms of what we're offering for our white label solution, yes, we're extremely competitive with Google Maps because our business model is very different from theirs. Our business model does not center around advertising, and it also, the way that we're making our maps, our product is just different than theirs. So how are you planning to enrich more content for a platform? Let's see, Karen, I don't know if you can maybe reword that a little bit because I'm not sure that I fully understand it. Maybe I can answer it in terms of, as people create maps on the platform, the content, it's user-generated content. So the more people add, the more content there is, and the more value there is for everyone. And that is the point of the tags that you saw in there with the maps and with the places, is that the more you tag it, the easier it is to find the content that suits you. Okay, and to go back to the first question, it says, one of the social features is an ability to follow a user and discover what maps they create. What part of your user base will use this feature? Thank you. Okay, that makes much more sense. I think it really depends on the user. Some people will use it as a trip planning tool. Other people will use it as a trip inspiration tool. And some people will use it as both. I can't tell you numbers until we have more data in terms of user behavior. I think that part of that is also up to some design features that we have not yet decided because they're going to evolve with the platform. So hopefully that answers everyone's questions.
Okay, Rama, there are a few more questions for you. Just be very quick because the time is,
Quick, are taxes included in the pricing? Yes, they are. That's the full price of the ticket, including taxes with that. Just to confirm, I can sign up for 1 month, buy tickets, and then I have to continue. Yes, you can. It's month to month. You can cancel. If you do come back to the platform, we'll charge you a $99 fee to rejoin. So if the months you're not using it, you could put it on hold for $35 a month. More information's on the website around that stuff. Was flight booking limited to 5 per month? This particular subscription model with these prices is in conjunction with our flight partners. And that is where we came to in agreements. So that's where we're at with 5 per month right now. There may be additional plans in the future. I'm able to book at that price even a day before the flight, given that seats are available. What if everything is sold out at your partner's flight? Yes, you can book anywhere, later today till 30 days out. That's the window. Whatever's available on the platform, you can have at those prices. And that, availability will be there on the app. You can download it and see everything available without being a member. You just need to be a member to book.
Awesome. Last question for Navid, and then we give the word to Kevin, who will give a little bit of feedback for all of you and choose a winner.
Okay, so yes, thanks, Karen. So yes, how are we going to bring people to the platform? That's a really good question. That is one of the purposes of our white label solution, is to get more brand exposure. Obviously, it's white labeled, so we take the main branding off, but certain functionalities will bring you over to the WandaMaps platform, like navigation. So getting our software out there in some form, and then also partnerships with other travel companies, influencers, digital marketing, some of the standard stuff. But yeah, definitely getting users is probably our biggest challenge moving forward. And if you have any brilliant ideas, we're always excited to hear them. So thanks.
Awesome. Kev, do you want to jump in and share your feedback? If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them.
Sure. I think I have the same question for all three startups, and you can jump in maybe on that first, just very quickly. I loved the presentations. There was some great energy here, and it's going to be a tough job for me to call it. But maybe if you can just give a Twitter length description of how you're going to grow your business, and you can tackle it whichever way you like. But Francesco, Navid, and Vivek, could you tell me how you're going to grow your business, please?
Well, what we're trying to do is partnerships. I think the website is a showcase, but we're looking for partners that want to use the data to sell their things, travel or other things.
Okay, Navid?
Our really big focus is niche groups. So within niche travel groups, these are relatively close-knit communities that people are really passionate. So we're launching per niche group. So right after this call, I'm going to an RV trade show. So people who travel by RV, they have very specific needs. They have a very specific community. And once we get well established within that group, moving on to the next one. So that's our strategy right now.
Cool. For us,
Okay,
we've really found that referrals and partnerships get us the most customers. We're a lot of benefit with WeWork and various other sort of co-working and travel communities, and just like Navid, really like those niche travel groups that people are already flying like this. We're continuing to push on that. We also have various essentially brand ambassadors in various entertainment verticals that are speaking about this on their platforms to get their sort of bases to also use this. So we're sort of hitting it from multiple angles on that.
So I think the thing that and it's out of a deep humility that I share any feedback here, guys. We're still, I think, in many ways a startup ourselves, but we've been at the coalface for quite a while. I think I'll just give you a little bit of feedback one-on-one. You can hit me up afterwards for some longer feedback, but just to press on it, because it kind of hit a nerve for me, Francesco. And I know you apologized for twice. I had to ask you how you were growing to really get a sense of what kind of a business you are. Are you B2B? Are you B2C? There's no shame in being either, but position as one, and be very, very clear about that. I love the idea that you'll grow through partnerships. I think there's a gap there. I think the space will shrink if you're not quick. Because there's a lot of activity in travel content. I know there's been a bit of demand for stuff like yours, so you're probably in the right space. But pick a position and just go for it. Your consumer, your business, both are fine.
We can talk about it later on, yes.
Navid, we've met before. I love the product. I think there's what burns me is how quickly can we get you guys to scale, because I can see this product fitting like a glove for some people. So it's how do we get that out there, and how do we make that as visible as possible, as quickly as possible? You've come a long way. I love what I've seen today. SkyHi, you're talking to a geek, and it kills me looking at your pitch. It's like, as soon as I see your business proposition, as soon as I see the business model, I'm trying to decode it. And I'm trying to find how do these guys even do this? This is a miracle. This is amazing. And I guess it's just a little bit of signaling and marketing. You'll figure all that stuff out. Just be very, very mindful that the first thing that I thought is, how are these guys pulling it off? And, you know, throw me a bone, but make sure that, you know, that's just one segment in that kind of persona. Just make sure you're covering everybody else's questions as you continue to message, because I still can't believe it. I really can't believe it. And I know I'd use you guys if I could fly further from Dublin than I can already. But it just looks like it's you know, in some ways it's too good to be true. So show a little bit of what Don Norman would call the system image. How does it work? You know, in your investor decks, I'm sure you talk about the quants and all of the economists all the econometrics that you're using on it. Just make sure I can see that it will continue to work, I think, is my only feedback to you guys. It breaks my heart to pick a winner. I still have to pick one. Like I said, 3 great presentations. They're all good. I love the fact that there's B2B stuff there, Francesco. Navit, I'm a fan, but I have to give this one to SkyHi. SkyHi, sorry. It's a great product, and just to see how well you guys can do, I'd love to see you guys go a little bit further. So congratulations on that. It was a really tough choice for me there.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Good job.
Awesome. Thank you all for taking some time to be part of this webinar. We at Travel Massive love everything that you do. We follow you closely, and we support you on every step of the way. You can get in touch with us or with the community at any time. Thank you for all the people who joined us live, and for all the questions, for all the feedback. I'm pretty sure everything was very useful for our speakers. Thank you, Kevin, for taking part as well in choosing the winner. I will be in touch with you guys about the prize. And if you want to say a few final words, and then we can end the webinar. Francesco, do you want to say final?
No, so yeah, thank you to everybody who joined us. Yeah, please tell all your friends about GigsGuide and let's get more people to gigs, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks everyone for having us and for joining. And yeah, I mean, I think we're all kind of at the same stage, which we're early stage. So if this seems like what we do scratches your tickle or whatever the phrase is, then definitely take a look at WandaMaps. And we're updating things constantly. So if you see things, hit us up on any social media platform, email, whatever. Just let us know what you think, because your feedback is the most valuable thing for us right now. So thank you.
All right, thank you guys for joining and for the other pitches. It's hard to build things in the travel space, so I appreciate you all for what you're building, and Travel Massive for building this community. You know, for us, really just check us out. You know, if you travel a lot, this could be great for you. If you don't travel a lot, this might get you to explore more and have those experiences that we all want. So check it out, and hit us up if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you all. Join us at our future Travel Massive Live webinars, and we'll be in touch.